Right, good evening. Hope you're all well and okay. It's the last clinic of the year, so is it sad occasion? Not really. I'm looking forward to a break, and I'm sure you are too. The clinics are going to be, interesting next year, I would say. We'll cover more about that in January. I feel like businesses are going to shift on a lot quicker next year. I feel like the check-ins are going to get a bit more colourful and there'll be more of them. So, yeah, let's just see what happens with that. We've got quite a lot to get through tonight with this clinic. I've got 5 check-ins to do, which I've already read, as always. They're not very long. There's nothing really major in them. There's just a few bits of advice for each person, which obviously I'll get into straight away. But I want to just run over what else we've got to talk about tonight. So do stay with me. If you've got a check-in or not, I'll get through the check-ins, a few minutes on each one. There's 5 of them to do, and there's some good points in there for everyone to listen to. So please stay with me for the check-ins. Obviously, then I'm just going to recap a few bits after the check-ins, price increases, brochures, new ranges, just to reconfirm sort of what's the last time. The app interviews on Sunday. Sunday's the last one. So I want to just talk to you about that very briefly. I want to talk to you about the event in January, because this is a massive event. We've got, for a January event, we've got about 60 people registered for it so far, which is sort of the maximum. So if you haven't got your ticket, I think there's 3 left, to be honest. So you need to do that, basically, if you come in. Do it quickly. We can increase the tickets slightly if we do run out, but I'd rather just get it done as soon as you can, basically. I'll talk to you about the last event. I want to just cover a few bits there, and then I want to do the year in summary. So it's been what sort of year has it been? What have we learned? What are the takeaways? And then I want to cover finally the Boxing Day sales. So we've done some posts for you to upload. So I want to go through that on the screen. There will be a demo in the Academy on how to do it for Mariana, but I just want to quickly run over it with you so you know what to do, what to expect, because it's the first year we've done this, but I feel like a lot of you are ready for it. So, i.e. putting something out proper over the Christmas period so customers are aware that you exist and you are offering something. So there's an incentive for people to book surveys with you. And it can be hit or miss. And I think some of these things with these posts that you put out, and especially these are the times where you'll be like, glad that you've been doing your social media because you've got more of a following and you'll definitely get some leads from it. Or you'll look at it and go, fucking hell, I should have done my social media earlier, because if I was putting these out now, I'd get more interest. But you still need to do it, right? Whichever boat you're in there, you still need to do it, because you got to think of it. How long is it going to take? Well, we know how long it's going to take, 12 months. I was going to say this time next year, it's going to go like that. So I'm just trying really hard here to get you really kicked into gear so you hit January hard in the right headspace, and getting these social media posts in and ready and getting into a rhythm for next year is really important. Obviously, so many of you were at the event in October, which seems like yesterday, but it was 2 months ago now. A lot has changed since then in your businesses and ours, which we're going to go through later on a bit more. So I'm going to try and keep it under an hour tonight. I'm conscious that I don't want to take too much of your time up, and I want to get through these check-ins and then go through those bits. There's quite a bit to do there, and there's going to be some nice things to take away from this as we close out the year. So let's get into the first check-in anyway. The first one is from Paul Johnson, the mighty Paul Johnson up in the north. So celebrating wins. So obviously this is what he's put. So I always read the question and then what they've wrote, and then I'll respond, just so you know the format of this if it's the first time you watch him. So the first question is celebrating wins. He's put, not really much to shout about at the minute, but I have booked my first media wall job and had a few people inquiring. Well, it might not be much to shout about, mate, but that is something to shout about. Luke Gadd, also the people that have been adding the new pages to the websites. So you're the second person this week that's mentioned media walls now. And people are saying, because I did say at the event, and, crystal ball. I did say at the event, because at the event we did the offer, didn't we? So if you added media walls and offices and bedrooms and the additional pages to your websites, that we'd give you a free period, so you don't pay for it for the first 3 months or something like that. I think you're not going to pay for it until February. So a lot of people have got these website pages and things in the CRM system now that they're not actually paying for at the moment, but they're starting to get leads and jobs booked in already. So by the time you start paying for it, if you've been doing things right, you would have had jobs. It's fucking free, basically, and it's a return on investment of like, wow, you're getting something for now. But I did say at the event that I believe, even if you're not going to offer half of them services, if it was me, because thinking like a business person is you do things based on what a business person would do. And out there in the world, I understand, and hopefully some of you are starting to, is that kitchens and bathrooms, the traffic on the internet for kitchens and bathrooms is obviously very competitive. You're up against massive companies. Now, if you've got media walls on your website, and you've got to think about your customer is people that are just having home improvements done. So a media wall could be one thing they're looking at, but there's probably another project in the background somewhere. So what I mean there is, obviously they see that you got media walls on your website, but then they see that you got bathrooms and kitchens, and it's a good way of getting traffic into your website. It gets you your website ranking better. It's cheaper traffic. It's easier traffic. It's better traffic. So I'm really glad that I said that in November on record, because now obviously I'm starting to hear that people are getting more leads and inquiries through the websites because they've got these pages. And that is what I was hoping for, because I know how the internet works, so if it was me, even if I had no intention of doing media walls or little intention, or it was a bit of a side thing, which is what it'll be anyway, it'll always be a side thing, but it will bring more traffic into your website. So although you're saying that there's nothing to shout about, this is really good because these web pages have only just gone on. So think about where this is going to lead, and you got to look at, I'm trying, because I can see you getting a little bit, about a few things. But these are the green shoots that when you're transitioning into being a business person that you need to be aware of and you need to be looking at. And that's a really positive sign that your website is starting to work again, in a different world, and it's generating something for the future. That's going to grow and propagate. So, although you're sort of putting a little bit of a not much to shout about, there's a really massive positive in there that you might not be seeing. And I just want to bring your head back to the event when I said, if you add these pages to your website, this will push your business forward, even if it's unintentional through other things, because you're going to get more traffic into your website. More traffic will mean more leads. It's as simple as that. So don't be too down about that. There is stuff to shout about. So personal growth, I now make time for me to go to the gym, which is really helping me switch off for 1 hour. I used to say I never had time, but since August I've made time, which I feel is helping me. Yeah, it's the old adage, I haven't got time. It's the biggest load of bullshit ever, because it's funny how people say I haven't got time to do this and do that and do the other. But if you got run over today and you had to sit in hospital for 8 weeks, you'd have time for that, wouldn't you? Things would work out. Do you get what I'm saying? The world would carry on. And, when people say, oh, I haven't got time, I haven't got an hour to work out and look after myself, but, it's just bullshit. So it's good, again, that you're seeing that transition there and doing the right thing, because you do have time. It's as simple as that. Areas for support. Keep going through spells of being 100% into every part of the business, and I go through weeks of not really. I need to get more consistent with it. So basically what you're saying is sometimes you're going all in on the business and other times you're not going all in, and you need to get consistent. But what we're going to talk about in a minute, so I'm going to come back to that point because it sort of goes into the next point automatically. It's funny, these check-ins, because everybody answers their own questions. The answers are in your check-ins. Yeah, when you send me these check-ins, it's like, I don't say I feel bad, but I just feel like I'm reading the script back to you, because every time people send me a check-in, they always put the answers in there as well. So here we go. Concerns. Let's go to the next one. I really need to be off the tools ASAP. Right, okay. So let's just dissect it for a minute. Why are we being inconsistent? Why are we all in 1 minute and not the next? because something's not right. Now, it's like when people say to me, "Oh, how do you do what you do? How do you have the energy to do what you do?" And I don't see it as work. Yeah, I am all in on something. Don't get me wrong. Everyone goes through periods of being fucking can't be asked. That is human nature, especially when you've been burning the candle at both ends for fucking months. But when something's not right in your business, it's hard to stay consistent because something isn't right. And you're already saying what it is here. I need to be off the tools ASAP. I have a few more subcontractors to use and keep adding to my list. Me being on the tools just isn't working. So here's the answer. Jobs are taking longer than they should due to me trying to juggle everything. I don't touch the bathrooms now, as I have plenty of trusted subbies for these. But deep down, I think it's me not trusting anyone to do the kitchens, which is stopping me. I get frustrated with myself and I can see the potential in the business, but it feels like I'm holding it back by not letting people fit the kitchens. That is the exact reason why in areas for support where you've put, I'm 100% in 1 minute and not the next. Because the next section that I've just read there is the reason why you're pulling back and you're like this, in, out, in, out. So when things are going well, I'm all in, and when it goes shit, I'm like, fucking, I can't be asked. But then you pull back because you know you've got this thing to deal with in here and out there because it's causing you physical pain and problems because you're not dealing with it in here. So deal with it. Get that fitter in and just stay close to him and let someone else do the kitchen. What would be a good test for you to do is I used to do this. I used to have a saying as a manager, and I don't think I've said this before, but when I was a manager, a contracts manager, and I used to work in big businesses like over £100 million plus turnover businesses, like massive, and I used to be a contracts manager for businesses like that, big businesses, big fucking projects, loads of fucking staff, 100 staff, 30 vehicles, sites all over the fucking country, that sort of level. And it was quite weird actually, because I was in my early 20s when I did that. And I look back and think, how the fuck did you get that job? And I was good at it, by the way. I didn't wing it. I really was good at it. Obviously, that's where I learned my craft on project management and processes. And, I learned that in a business. And then obviously when I became entrepreneur, really by mistake, I had these skills, luckily. So, the point I'm trying to make here, just to pull back from that, and the reason that I've mentioned that because I had to trust a lot of people to do the fucking work. And yes, they let me down, but some did, some didn't. And that's just part of management. People fuck up and you're there to manage that. And no one's ever perfect. The perfect employees ain't fucking arriving. So you got to deal with things in different ways. But you got to accept that your brand is strong enough for people to forgive you if there's a problem. Yeah, it's how big is the problem going to be? Now, people, we've had it in recent weeks with, I think Enzo had a few issues and someone else, I can't remember, but, like having this head fuck with getting people in. Now, yes, there are going to be problems on site. There are going to be issues, but it's how you deal with that with the customer that matters. It's not trying to stop the problem from happening. If the guy's an absolute rough ass, you shouldn't be putting him in there in the first place. But if he's half decent, you got to believe the half decent relationship with him. You've got to accept that some people have got the quirks, right? And you've got to sort of manage that and think, and yes, there'll be things where you think, if there was a problem on a job, I used to look at it and think, I've spotted something. It's not perfect, but is it acceptable? Do you know what I mean? And we have our standards that, all right, if I was fitting it, I would fucking fix that. But what I would do, this is how I would deal with these things where someone was just sometimes doing things that I didn't quite like. I used to go to them and say, listen, I'd pull them to one side and say, see that what you've done there? I don't really like it. Now, this is the deal. It's not awful. If it's awful, it's awful. It has to be changed. But if it's passable and you say, listen, I'm having a chat with you. I don't want you to change it. But if the customer fucking spots it, you're changing it. Okay? That's the deal. Is that okay? Cool. And that is how I used to deal with some of the things that I'd spot. And I'd say, listen, I've spotted that tile that's got a lip on it. I would pull that personally if that was my house. I feel like it's because I'm a finicky bastard. If the customer spots it, you're going to have to change it. If the customer doesn't, we'll let it fly. that is one of the ways I used to deal with things. Obviously, there's unethical things. If it was just, I'd be like, mate, that's shit. You got to get rid of that. Do you know what I mean? Or you got to change it. And even good fitters do these things sometimes. Everyone has a brain fart, and you know, especially when they're under pressure and they're rushing or they've got problems at home and all the rest of it. I've had my best fitters do things where I'm like, mate, what have you done there? What have you done? And, you know, you've got to sometimes put your arm around them and be like, you know, everything all right? Because usually there's something going on up here that makes good people do silly things, as we all know. And your fitters will be the same. And to be a good manager, you've got to understand that. You've got to understand it. And you've got to position yourself between that person and the customer and your brand. And you've got to protect your brand at all costs. Yeah, that's the ultimate thing that matters here. Because if you protect your brand, you by default protect the customer and you sort of protect him as well. But you've got to sort of accept that sometimes things aren't going to be perfect. And remember that you're not fucking perfect as well. You know, there's going to be things that you've done in the past where they're not great, not perfect. You know what I mean? So don't hold yourself to the ultimate regard that you are perfect, because you're not. But going back to the story where, you know, I used to manage all these people, I used to have a rule. And I held this rule for well, while the business was big, I held this rule anyway. When I went back on my own, obviously it fucking changes again because you go back out on site, you know, you start from fucking scratch. But I used to have this rule, and I used to say to people, if I've got to stand up to solve a problem, because I had a lot of people, so I used to sit at my desk in the office, and I had other contracts managers that worked for me, and you know, mid-level management and all the rest of it, because I was senior, so I couldn't be all over the place all the time. And I used to have a rule when I was a project manager. I mean, even before that, I had the same sort of mindset, but I definitely still have the mindset now. Whereas if I've got to stand up to solve a problem, I've not set my business up properly. So what I mean by that is you should be able to sit at your desk and solve anything. Now, if your business is processed out, you're organized, you're good on the computer, you've got the right people working for you, you've got your processes in place, you've got your project management, KBB Academy Plus systems working for you, you should be able, because, you know, think of it like, you know, you're using your KBB Supply Services trade account. It's a digital trade account. So you don't need to drive to the fucking shop to pick stuff up. It gets delivered to the property. And this is one of the key things that people miss, especially with the KBB Supply Services trade account, is, oh, I can go to Alden's and pick it up. Mate, you're fucking missing the point. That is what tradespeople who want to be poor forever, that's how they think. If you want to fucking be successful as a tradesperson, you got to think differently. And you sat in your car or your van to go and pick something up because you can get it today. Whereas I would always wait a day or two for a product and get it delivered, because what the fuck? I've got better things to do than fucking drive around. Do you get what I'm saying? So the value in doing things in a certain way is fucking massive. And in your head, you've got to think, if I've got to stand up to solve a problem, I've fucked up. I haven't set something up properly, because if I've got to go to site to sort this problem out, what have I done wrong? There's always a reason. So when you want to be successful, and I'll be talking to my inner circle people about this in January at the first meeting, is you've got to be able to solve problems from behind your computer. You've got to be able to, so if you've got the wrong person on site, you've recruited wrong. If you've got the wrong materials on site, you've ordered wrong, or you need to do something about it. You get what I'm saying? But everything should be solvable through being at your computer and not having to actually go to site. So this is like where you've got to switch into project management mode now. And you've got to start thinking about running a business, doing it properly, accepting that sometimes the price you're going to pay for being off the tools, mate, is hassle. Yeah. When you come off the tools and you employ people, your hassle is going to go up, but other things are going to drop. Everything comes at a cost. Yeah. So you're saying you need to be off the tools ASAP, but you've got this pain and this pain, and you're living with them both simultaneously. Because what you do is fuck that pain off. You know, you being on the tools is not sustainable anymore. You need to get fucking rid of it and deal with what comes then. But you've got to take that leap and just fucking deal with it. Yeah. So yes, your concerns are right. And you are at that point where you need to get off the tools, and project management. The tips I've just given you there should be more than enough, and the confidence to go and do it, and the grown-up maturity knowledge that yes, you're going to get some shit for coming off the tools. Yes, it's going to happen. How many times a week do you think we get a fucking complaint? Or not, we don't get loads, but You know, when something happens and I look at it and go, I wouldn't have done that. So that automatically makes my fucking blood boil because I wouldn't have done that. But I've got to accept that, well, fucking hell, well, what's my solution? Do I go and do all the fucking orders and designs and drive the fucking delivery trucks? No, that isn't fucking possible. So I have to accept that shit's going to happen, but that's just the price of being a bigger business. You know, that is just the fucking way it is. But if you've got a good relationship with your customers and you pick up the phone and you apologize and you put it right, that's all that fucking matters. Do you get what I mean? And you need to go through that cycle a little bit and just understand that you're not perfect. You're not going to get it right all the fucking time. And customers will forgive you. Ultimately, customers will forgive you. They will. You know, look how many times we've been forgiven. Like, I think you've said it yourself. You know, it's not perfect, but you're still here. You know, why are you still here? You know, think of it from your angle. You know, why do you and everybody else stick with KBB when KBB is not perfect? You know, because none of us are fucking perfect. You know, it's like, and the perfect supplier, the perfect kitchen company isn't fucking out there. It's not out there. But what you want is good relationships with good people that when shit goes west, not if, because it will. So it's when shit goes west, what we're going to fucking do about it. Now, if you know, and this goes for your customer as well, if they know, you know, if there's a problem, I've got Paul. If there's a problem, I've got Paul. That fucking confidence in them should be enough to think, oh, this guy's done something wrong. I'll speak to Paul. Paul will sort it out. And that's all that fucking matters. And actually, having problems is a good thing because it demonstrates to customers that you do give a shit. And, you know, you're proving that you are who you say you are. Because if you don't have problems, you know, smooth seas don't make a good sailor. And I don't know who did this, but some businesses actually engineer problems into their process. So they literally fabricate problems. I can't remember. I haven't got a case study on this, but I've heard it, and it's just come to my head then. But I've had this discussion with people before, and there are businesses that set expectations to customers and then go, "Oh shit, there's a problem," and then they go, "Right, we've sorted the problem out," and they're like, "Oh, thank God for that." And it's all fabricated. I'm not saying you should do that, but what I'm saying is there's a psychology behind having problems and sorting problems out. Having problems and sorting problems out. This teaches people that you are trustworthy. So, you know, the things that happen because you're not on site, and then the customer goes, "Oh yeah, but he still sorted it." It sort of then stops mattering that you're not on site. Do you get what I mean? I know I've laboured this point quite a lot, and I've spent a long time on it, but this is something that I feel like we need to, you know, as a piece of content, it's really helpful for people to come back to because everyone fucking gets to this point and says the same thing. So getting off the tools there, and this is the mind fuck you've got to get out of. Everything I've just said there, you need to take to the bank, and in the new year, you need to start that new year. And what I was going to say before was, what you should do is get someone on site and fucking go on holiday for a week and make yourself have to manage that whole thing through WhatsApp and phone calls without going to site. You need to not go to site unless you really have to. You want the customer to see you 2 or 3 times. That's it. And, you know, drop in, how's everything going, all the rest of it. But the rest of it needs to be WhatsApp. You know, make sure you got a WhatsApp group for each job and everyone that's on that job is on it. You put your plans in there, your drawings in there, share delivery dates, updates from delivery drivers, all the fucking rest of it. Don't put the customer in that group, but have that WhatsApp group for everyone on that job. Yeah. Vet people properly and make sure that you are getting the right people on your team. I hope that's helpful. But that's where you're at and that is what you need to do. And that's the mindset you need to go at it with. Looking ahead, trying to promote all parts of the business, not just kitchens. I have 10,000 leaflets going out mid-January, really trying to promote the business in the new year. Yeah, well, you got loads of stuff. You got the new page on your website. They're obviously already bearing fruit. So you need to really double down on that. Do some social media posts, you know, do as much as you can to promote that and get more traffic into your website. You're at the point where marketing's a big deal for you now. You need to supplement you not being on the tools with more money. Okay. Right. So moving on, we've got Matt from Plain Sailing, Matty Hughes. So celebrating wins. I feel I'm back on my feet and pushing forward again after going it alone. So for those of you that don't know, Matt and Sean split up as a partnership, which I'm going to come on to partnerships in a bit on the things that we've learned this year. It was a little shock to the system, but now I'm managing the time better on the jobs and on the laptop. Yeah, well, it's amazing when everything drops onto your shoulders, how much responsibility you then take. When there's two people that are in a business, it's like, I heard someone say something the other day, and it was dead funny, and it was dead true, because he said, if it's two people's job to feed the dog will fucking die, because there'll be a day where someone says, "Oh, I thought you were feeding the dog." No, I thought you were feeding the dog. Well, the dog's fucking dead, right? Because somebody thought the other person was feeding the dog, and the dog didn't get fed because both people thought it was someone else's job. So there's the fucking dog dead on the floor. And as an analogy, it's really true, because when you have more than one person sat in a business doing a similar role, it doesn't fucking work. So, and you understand that when you are on your own, it's fucking easier half the time, because you're like, hang on a minute. Well, there isn't someone I can tell to do that, so I have to do it myself. And by the time you've thought about pissing around, you've done it. And then you can start delegating tasks over time. So yeah, I'm glad that you've done this, and I think you've got a really big opportunity here now. And then obviously in your next sentence you said, in fact, I'm finishing the jobs quicker by myself than when it was two of us, and I'm having less callback. Well, there you go. I have got a supply and fit job booked for the new year, and I have another job that's 99% over the line. Brilliant. Also, leads are starting to come in slowly but steady. 1,000% better than this time last year when I was shitting myself. So yeah, it's all looking good, mate. I'm really, really proud that you've weathered this. I'm going to come on to partnerships in a bit. Personal growth, getting more confident again, starting to see how I can make time to get some networking in. I'm booked onto a property developer meeting in the new year. I want to manage my time on the tools well enough so I can have Thursday mornings to go breakfast networking meet. Yeah. And, again, like I've just said to Paul, make sure that in the new year you've got some time aside for recruiting, and listen to what I've just said to Paul. Areas for support. I still seem to be getting a lot of leads from people who only care about price. I'm pushing the hip and which and trying to sell the whole end-to-end service, but a lot of quotes at the moment are saying way too expensive. I'm going to go through the sales process again, and I feel I need to be better at vetting the leads. So yeah, you're definitely right. I'm sticking to my pricing now, and I know what I need out of jobs. People just seem to have tightened their belts a bit. So your point where you've said, I feel you need to be better at vetting your leads. Vetting leads is absolutely critical. I do feel, I'm just sniffing, I don't know, obviously I don't know, but I can sniff in the language that you're using, that you may be pushing the hip and the witch a little bit too hard and trying to sell, if that makes sense. When it comes to sales, right, you have got proven results from the past. The witch and the hip are there, they're visible. I would put them to the background and bring yourself forward. I feel like you may be putting yourself at the back and putting things in front of you, and people buy people. Yeah. So I think you need to look at how you're doing your surveys. Definitely vetting leads is 100% always a fucking must. But I'm feeling here that you're pushing things maybe a little bit too hard, and it's detracting from you as a person. So go into surveys, don't even mention it, brush. They can see it. Make sure you've got witch on your jacket and you've got HIP visible somewhere. Again, if you should have branded brochures that have hopefully got things on, and make sure that the customer has seen it. They should have seen it already on your website and things like that. So I wouldn't hammer it home personally. I wouldn't mention it too much. I would mention it a little bit in the loom or something like that, but I wouldn't hammer it. I'm just picking up there that you're saying I'm pushing the hip and the witch, but that can be a put off. That can be a put off, because you might go, I've already seen that, and now you're feeling a bit uneasy. You're feeling like you're pushing something too hard. Whereas we want a kitchen and we want to do business with somebody. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think your mindset just needs a little bit of a tweak there, and you'll see. Because if you're getting pushed back on price, it isn't always price. You've heard me say this fucking loads of times. People use price as an excuse to get rid of you. You're making it easy for people to say no, and there's a reason for that. And I think we've got to the bottom of it a little bit. And the good thing is it's only minor tweaks I'm feeling that you need to make. But yeah, your final point of people just seem to be tightening their belts. One, that's you being negative. It might be true for some people, but it's not true for everyone. So again, people will always spend more money if they feel the value is there. It's your job to make sure the value is obvious. So don't let your head slip into the, oh, people are tightening the belts mindset, because your behavior will follow that, and that will not generate good results. So come back out of that thinking, accept that some people are going to tighten the belts, but you've got to get good at making them spend even still. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, you might be tightening your belt, but you'll still want to do business with me. So you'll untighten your belt if I'm good enough at putting myself forward. Does that make sense? So just because they're tightening the belt don't mean they need to tighten the belt. It's because they're just, and you give them if you give them an excuse not to spend the money and go with someone cheaper because no one's done a great job of proving how good they are, then that's not good for anyone. Certainly not you or them. So I hope that helps. If anything's not clear, come back to us in your WhatsApp group. Concerns, obviously your dad's a bit poorly. I'm sorry to hear that. You're obviously spending a lot of time going to hospital and back. It's obviously been a rough time, and obviously that's going to continue. But it is what it is, like you said, and you said at the end of your comment there, it is what it is. And it's tough, in it, when you think it is what it is, but at the end of the day, it is. And life does go on no matter what happens, and the business definitely, needs to be carried on with. So yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. But like I say, you just do need to stay focused as well. Okay, looking ahead, getting more networking done, look at my numbers again and make sure I'm pricing right. Okay, well, if you need any help with that, let us know. I know you've been sending some communications to and forth around the portal, so I know that you're very active at the moment, which is really good to see. But we'll keep going. You've had some you haven't. I won't say you've had setbacks. I think you could call them setbacks if you're being a pussy. But I feel that the things that have happened to you have happened for a reason, and I think 2026 is going to be a completely different animal for you. And I'm excited for that. Right, okay, moving on. We've got next Rob Stevenson from Phoenix. So celebrating wins, two small supply and fit jobs using KBB, kitchen sink run, including worktop for an insurance job and a change of shower mixer riser. Starting to get a grip with the CRM, the trade portal, brilliant. Getting surveys submitted to the design team easily now, without getting stressed. I just got my head around doing the proper quoting through the website with Looms attached and actually enjoy doing them. Looking forward to receiving my next design and quote from the team so I can get my quote on Loom out quickly and efficiently. Brilliant. First kitchen inquiry to come through the Google and survey booked by the customer through the CRM. Brilliant. Really getting into the 90-minute sessions. 3 to 4 90-minute sessions a week now. Brilliant. And it's not a coincidence, is it, that these 90-minute sessions are happening and other things are starting to happen, as they always do. So what's the next one? The writing's got a bit messed up there. Personal growth. All right, personal growth. So cold showers 2 to 3 times a week, massive shift in mindset, and a fire in my belly after drawing a line under our recent bereavement. More focused and able to work through the technical stuff easier, and for asking help as soon as I get stuck. As we always say, stay engaged instead of getting stressed and trying to figure out on my own. Yeah, because that doesn't help. When things are new, you need to be told. When you get used to it, you don't need to be told. But early days, as we say to everyone, reach out for help. Doing some light home exercise and stretching on a daily basis or going for a short walk. Brilliant. Getting back into regular mini meditation sessions and affirmations in the morning. Set up a dedicated office in the spare room to focus on not being disturbed. Implementing the Whiteboard planning system and using that every Sunday night now. Brilliant. So there's loads of stuff there, mate. And think how far you've come since the last event when things weren't so good, and what you've done. Brilliant. Just amazing. Areas for support, not that I can think of. Great. Concerns. Not now. The bereavement of my father-in-law caused me not to be able to focus and function properly, as you'd expect, in some days, but life goes on. and the business won't succeed without me. So I drew a line under it and went all in, which is now feeling really good. Don't mind if you speak about this. So thank you for letting me mention that, because I think I gave you quite a hard check-in, didn't I? A few months ago, or I think it was shortly after the event, when you were going through a lot of stuff, and I said to you, well, it's obviously landed with you. What I said at the time, I think from memory, it was around being a leader and leading in front of these challenging times, and just accepting that at some point we have to get on with it. It sounds like I'm being horrible when I say these things, but let's just call a spade, right? Unsuccessful people have always got lots of reasons why they're unsuccessful, yeah? And none of them are ever things that successful people haven't also dealt with. So my attitude towards these things is, and I'm not saying like, success is everything, money is everything, and all that. I know that, but when I say unsuccessful people, I don't mean in the monetary sense and business sense. I just mean, the miserable fuckers who are bitter or just people that on the surface look like they're having a good time, but really deep down they're not happy. That is what I mean by being unsuccessful, where they're not living the life they want. They're not fulfilled in their own effort. They're being intoxicated with shit in their life, and they're not doing the best they can do. They're not in the shape they want to be in. They're not earning the money they want to earn. They're not even with the fucking partner they want to be with. They're not living anything to do with how they really deep down want to be and live their lives. And unfortunately, it's a lot of fucking people. But all those people have got reasons why. Oh, well, I tried a business once, it didn't work because of this, and well, I've done this, and I can't do this because of that, and all this fucking bullshit. Oh, I've got this fucking problem and it stops me from fucking. Do you know what I mean? The list of excuses is absolutely fucking monumental. So, and I could sit here today. I could sit on the couch and have a million reasons why I wasn't successful and I didn't make it, and I'd be fucking valid in a lot of them. There's many times the chips have been down for me and I could have given up. Probably should have fucking given up mathematically in some cases. But I didn't. And, this is where it separates the wheat from the fucking chaff. Tough times separate the fucking wheat from the chaff, because that is when you either make excuses or you fucking crack on, and just understand that shit is going to happen. Shit is going to happen. And, how easily swayed you are off your course is going to determine where you end up. And if you are easily swayed by life issues, and I know bereavements are huge, obviously, and lots of other things are big, but it is a decision at the end of the day. There's a choice where no matter what the thing is, we talked about alcohol recently and other addictive things and all that shit. At the end of the day, and this is the truth, it is a choice. It is a free will choice to decide if you are going to let something stop you or not. It's as simple as that. I mean, I've had people at events in the past where I think something that people really struggle with is like self-confidence, and they go, "Oh, I've just not got the confidence to fucking do and say this and do." I'm like that's a fucking choice as well. Someone asked me yesterday. They've got issues, and they said, how do I stop worrying about this, and how do I stop doing that, and how do I stop letting this affect me so much? How do I get out of this headspace? And my answer was dead clear and dead honest. And what this person asked me was, why are you so fucking get on with it? Like, why don't these other things that are going on around you that they are noise, but why don't they bother you? Why don't they bother you? Like, why? How have you got this ability to fucking, crack on and just see forward and move forward? And so my answer was dead clear, and I said, how much do you want it? How much do you want the thing that you say you want? Because in my simple way of thinking, is if you want to fucking drink more than you want to have a business, then you're going to fucking drink, aren't you? Do you get what I mean? If you want to drink more than you want to be successful, you're going to fucking drink. If you want to fucking whinge about your problems more than you want to be successful, you're going to fucking whinge about your problems. So for me, and I might be wrong, might be being insensitive, but for me, it's binary. It's fucking yes or no. There isn't a in the middle. And that's why I always say, if you're in the middle and there are moments where you are, that's where you just need to take your foot off the gas, where you need to fucking chill a bit, have a week off, take the, understand and recognize that situation. Don't let a bad week turn into, a bad day turn into a bad week. Don't let a bad week turn into a bad month. So sometimes accept you're going to have a bad time, fucking then get on with it. Don't let it ruin everything. Don't let everything turn to shit because you're having one bad episode of something. And this is where, like I said to you, in the past, when these tough times were there, is just accept that right now it's shit, right? It's not going to be shit forever. And that choice to come out of this and go is really important. And things are binary where you can decide, and my answer to the question was, well, I want to build this thing. I want to look after my members. I want them to be successful. I want this to be a successful business more than anything else, more than I want a drink, more than I want to whinge. Yes, there are things that piss me off. Yes, there are days where I can't be asked. Yes, there's all those things, but they're still down here in comparison to where this is. So when people fucking go, I've got this and I've got that. If you won't confidently walk into someone's house and demonstrate that you can fucking measure a kitchen and sell a kitchen, which is, something you are capable of doing, but you're letting yourself stop yourself, then you're fucking choosing to let yourself stop yourself. You're actually saying, yeah, I am a bit shy. I am a bit of a fucking pussy. And yeah, I'm going to run with it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that identity. Because, yeah, that's who I am. And I'm just going to fucking make an excuse for not doing the thing that I really want to do, which is this. But then my question is, do you really want to do it? Do you really want to do it? If you're fucking not doing it, do it. Do you get what I mean? So this is where the lies and the people that aren't quite happy and all the rest of it you start seeing through it and you go, fucking hell, get your shit in order. Get your fucking head in order. And I'm not like having a go at you here, but this is just a thing for general mindset, is understand where the fuck you want to be in 5 years' time. And it's not difficult to fucking work out that if you do this today, that helps the cause. If you do that today, that doesn't help the cause. Fucking hell, that is not difficult. It is not difficult to understand that this helps, this doesn't help. But the thing is, people don't get the North Star in the sky and go, that's where I want to fucking go. If you give your brain something to fucking focus on, the subconscious mind sifts through the shit for you. And this is where clarity matters, because if you understand what the fuck you're doing and why you're doing it and where you want to be in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, or 10 years' time, if you go, that is what I want. That's how I want to live my life. That's the person I want to be, right? When you make that decision in that fucking moment like that, without knowing it, your subconscious goes, right, okay, so from now on, everything that takes me towards that, I'm going to do more of. And things that take me away from it, I'm going to start rejecting. This is subconscious now, because you've decided where you're going. And a lot of people just don't fucking decide where they're going. They wait for circumstances. And that's what I mean about people who join the academy sometimes and then, I'm leaving, I'm going to go and do this instead. Because they've decided this 1 minute and then, I'm changing it now. It's there. Your subconscious, therefore, is all over the fucking place. You've got to fucking stick at things. There's been so many times in the last 4 or 5 years that I should have fucking stopped doing this. Do you get what I mean? Because I've looked at it so many times, I thought it's fucking hard work, this. What are you playing at trying to change an industry that's £4 billion? Why the fuck are you trying to change it? The amount of times I've had this conversation with myself and sat there and gone, why are you trying to help these people? Why are you trying to get people that are programmed to be unsuccessful? Why are you trying to make them successful? Because I tell you now, coaches don't do this a lot of the time. Startups are very fucking difficult to do. And you look in the coaching landscape, right? The academy is a bit of a unicorn because you don't get many, if any, that I'm fucking aware of, You go through every single coach or ad agency and all these people online. They only want to work with people that are already successful, and they just want to make them a bit more successful. Nobody is looking after people who just can't get their head in place. But that is what I'm trying to do. And there's been so many fucking times that you look at things and go, fucking hell, why are you bothering here? You know, when you hear painful feedback from people and it's like, oh God, they're not getting it. But the desire for me to achieve the goal is a lot more than the things that irritate me. Do you understand what I mean? So you keep going. You don't let things fucking drag you into the negative thinking. You don't let things, but and you believe in people. Like, I've carried on with it, and you should always carry on with it because you believe in it and you believe in other people. All right, the evidence might not be there tangibly sometimes, and it's still a vision, but you have to keep going. You have to live by that vision. And when you have that vision, you are unstoppable. When you have a vision that's fucking changing every 2 minutes, how does your subconscious brain and the universe work out what to serve you next when you ain't got a fucking clue what you're doing or where you want to be? And that's why in the academy specifically, it could be any fucking business. It doesn't matter. What I'm teaching here is universal. It's about understanding. Well, that's what we're trying to achieve. That's how we're trying to achieve it. And we stick to it. And this is where, this self-belief thing is massive, and it really fucks people up. So I know that's a massive tangent from what we were sort of getting on with at the beginning, but it really is, like there you've had bereavements. So vision for the business. So this is what's happened. So let's just be clear here. Let's just rewind what I've just said. You were at the event in October. You were not in a good place. You've said it yourself. I gave you some rough feedback straight after that event and at the event. Like, come on, mate, fucking got to get on with this. I know it's not the nice, soft approach, but you've got to get on with it. So I'm hoping that what's been achieved here is that I've given you that North Star and I've gone, look, Rob, get your fucking North Star and stick it in the fucking sky and start fucking about. Do you get what I mean? And I'm hoping that that's been the sort of case where you've gone, yeah, all this shit here. Do you know what? Do you know what's really horrible to say? More people are going to fucking die, right? More shit is going to happen in the next 5 years. Are we going to use that as an excuse? Are we going to use all our fucking past as an excuse? Are we going to use our upbringing as an excuse? We're going to use our postcode as an excuse? What the fuck? Do you get what I mean? What, are we going to wait for things to happen? So, oh yeah, fucking hell, bad things happen. So now I've got a reason to fail. Oh, and now I don't need to feel bad about being a failure. Do you understand what I mean? And I feel like what we've done here, we've together, you and myself, through our conversations and check-ins and whatnot, we've managed to get that North Star in the fucking sky. And now everything's aligning. Your subconscious is now going, fucking hell, right, we'll do a bit of cold dips. We'll do our 90 minutes. See what I mean? All these behaviors, you will think that they are conscious choices, but they have happened because the conscious mind went, this is what we're doing. Then the subconscious started organizing all your thoughts and your thinking and your behaviors and your patterns. Yeah, because you've now been consistent for a little bit of time and now things are clicking into place. And that's what happens when we say to people in the academy all the time, when you fucking engage, when you do the 12 steps, when you decide where you're going, consciously you've locked in. So now the behavior starts to follow and everything starts to click. And then the fucking customers come, then the money comes, then the life comes, and you go, fucking hell, I'm where I wanted to be. And there's so many people now that are getting to that point that, it's not a fucking coincidence, and it's for the exact reasons I've just said. So again, another tangent I've gone on. I've spent a bit longer on these check-ins than I wanted to, but the reason why I'm doing it is because it's the end of the year. This is like my last ditch attempt at getting you ready for 2026 in the best possible way. So I hope that tonight has been much value so far. I feel like we've had a big point around Paul's check-in with the getting off the tools, which is something you're all going to deal with. And this last bit we've just covered now about getting the fucking North Star in the sky and understanding where you want to be. And, Rob as an example here, that when he's decided to stop letting things that can't be controlled bother him and, control him, things have started to change very quickly. So finishing off Rob's check-in, looking ahead, the last bit. Be there when I need you. So looking ahead, well, how can we help you in the next 6 weeks? Be there when I need help, as you have been. Yes, we have, and we'll always be there. Need to get all socials up and running and some case studies published. We'll start working on them in Romania and ask for help as and when I need it. Brilliant. But that's what you need to do. And that's what you have been doing, and that's why it's working. Focus on the new year. Once I'm back, I need to start winning some decent projects to get cash flow back on track, which I feel more confident in now. We've been able to submit professional proposals with Looms. And the way you've mastered your sales process as well, mate, is admirable. You've really gone at everything here. You've made so much progress. And I'm not going to say in October I was worried about you, but I was worried about you. Do you know what I mean? There was a moment where I was like, fucking hell, I'm a bit worried about him a little bit. And you will admit yourself, mentally it was touch and go on, can I pull through this, and you have, and just take a moment here to sit back and go, fucking hell, in 3 months, that is astonishing. You've overcome things in that 3 months that some people can't even do in fucking 10 years, mate. Some people can't do it in 50 years. So if you can do that in 3 months, what you're going to do in the next 12, that's what you got to be thinking about now. If you can 4 times that, so in the next 4 quarters, in the next 12 months, you can get that. So you can keep this momentum going, mate. Fucking hell. This is what it's all about. Right, moving on. Allbone Interiors. We've got Matt. Allbone. So, celebrating wins. Picked up a potential big kitchen supply and fit, plus 4 bathrooms to supply from my Sparky. So, a bit of networking. Brilliant. Will be a slow burner, as most likely summer for the kitchen, but the bathrooms look to be much sooner. Going back registered as of January. Make sure you tidy up any old quotes that you've got outstanding, because if you've got some that come forward now and say, I want to go ahead, you might have some administrative issues, should we say. Personal growth, just keeping it consistent. Okay. Areas for support. The Monday board stuff is a little bit confusing. Are there any videos in the pipeline? Yes, it is on my list to tidy up the KBB Academy Plus videos. And yeah, excuse me. I'm working on a lot of the inner circle stuff at the moment. So some point in the new year, I will get onto tidying up the KB Academy Plus videos, because I know they are a little bit all over the show at the minute. There's a couple of videos that still need to be added in there, but the tools are there. You've got the view I've took of KB Academy Plus at the moment is, if something doesn't make sense, that's what your WhatsApp group is for. Put a Loom video into your WhatsApp group and say, this is what doesn't make sense. John, Lee, myself will look at that in your Academy Plus WhatsApp group, and we'll get it sorted. So don't think because the videos aren't there that you can't do stuff. Don't sit on it. If there's something that you go, and I need to know this, and it's good. You're another one. Let me come back to you in a minute. Looking ahead. On top of the 4 bathroom supplies, I potentially have surveyed for another full supply and fit today. So having the other pages added to the website, I am probably going to upset Ariana and ask her to add bathrooms too. Hopefully she won't punch me if she's at the live next event. Yeah, and do you know what, mate? And you're another one that's on my list of, mega, because you've had your brain farts, haven't you, where you've been like, oh God, and look where you are now. Like, you've got these jobs happening, you're going back registered, you're going to add bathrooms to your website. It's funny how when people get to a certain point, they add KBB Academy Plus and they add these services to the website because they are thinking like a business person, and you're starting to think like a business person now. And the reason why Inner Circle, when we do these Inner Circle modules in the academy and the meetings and all the rest of it, and where that leads to, which I'll be covering in January, it proves to us that people are starting to think like business people. And because everyone looks at these additional pages and the Academy Plus and goes, oh, they look at what it costs straight away, which is fuck all in the grand scheme of things. But people that understand business don't think, oh, what does that cost? They ask, how can I afford it? Because you are understanding here that these tools are invaluable. and getting traffic into your websites and winning more jobs and getting into business owner project management mode is really where we need to be. So if you've already got pages to your website, it's probably not going to cost you anything to add bathrooms on. I don't know how many pages you've got, but you can have all of them. I think it's 150 quid for all of them. So there's only 125 quid or 150 quid. So you're probably not going to pay to have anything added on. So I would get that message into the group soon as and get it done, mate. But another one to say a massive well done to, mate. You know, at the end of 2025, look where you are. This was not the destination in the sat nav 12 months ago, was it? You know, this is against the odds. And I want to cover this in a bit again, because there's so many instances here. And I will say it. I think the standard of the coaching in the academy from myself, Lee, and what's in the academy obviously works. You know, it obviously is good because the people have had so many challenges and been pulled through them. It's unbelievable, really, because there's been so many situations where you think that's a fucking write-off. And then you think, oh, next minute they're fucking back, and you're like, oh, where have you come from? You know, so it's a bit like, yeah, you know, it's good. I'll come on to it in a bit, because obviously I'll cover it a little bit now. Actually, it makes us really proud because, you know, we believed in everybody in the academy, me and Lee. We you know, one of the things that we didn't give up on was you guys. And because at the end of the day, if you're shit, let's face it, if you're shit, we're shit. And you're not shit. And that's the thing, like, as a community and as people, and even Which have said this when they've said, oh, you know, you're sending in all these Which trusted traders and they're all good guys, they're all really nice, and they've never had a problem with them, you know, and we've never had a complaint off any of their customers, and, you know, you're just decent people. And, you know, I feel like there's a real synergy now between decent people in this business, and there'll always be decent people in this business, because if there's any arseholes, they'll be fucking gone. As you've already seen, if you've been watching, you will see that people aren't here anymore that used to be here because of that reason. You know, I will protect that until the death. And, you know, good people on this side of the fence and good people on that side of the fence means brilliant relationships, excellent. You know, how we've managed to get so many people out of the shit and actually into a prosperous position in a short amount of time is testament to our relationship as academy, the community. I won't even say members and whatnot, because we're just a community, and we all have our role to play in that community. You know, and I feel like the strength of that is really starting to come through now, because people are feeling like they're not on their own. There's people around them that they can speak to. They've got experts to lean on if they need it, you know, and in some cases, you know, I feel like the academy has got, you know, a massive social value to it, and it's not even finished yet. There's loads more to come from it. But I feel like some people, without the academy, including ourselves, you know, where would half of us have ended up? Do you know what I mean? I do honestly feel this. I do think it. I think, fuck me. You know, how many people without the academy would still be working for fucking Wix, Wren, Howdens? You know, how many people would be having these issues and no one to help them? You know, and nothing. You know, where would we be? You know, I just don't. It's hard to say. You know, would these lives have been improved without it? Probably not. Is this fucking tough? Is the tough truth? You know, it's sobering. It's sobering, but it also makes us feel very grateful for what we have built together. Because at the end of the day, we have built it together. We've improved the academy and supply services off the back of your feedback, recommendations, complaints, you know, whatever. You know, and it's messy. You know, building businesses is fucking messy, and it's not perfect, and life isn't perfect, and that's okay. You know, it's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay that we get it wrong sometimes. It's fucking good that we get it wrong sometimes, because it keeps us humble. It reminds ourselves that we are human. And we're just about to reach the hour mark. So the promise that I made you that would be under an hour has been broken. So I'm sorry about that. We've still got one more check-in to do and probably a few more bits to get through yet. So try and sit tight. But I hope you're enjoying this tonight. I do. I hope that we're taking a lot of value from this, because I am. And I'm getting a lot of good, positive feeling from these check-ins and just in general what's going on in your businesses. So next and final check-in, I'll speed it up after this now. So Oliver Omer, O&P Interiors. I now have a whiteboard set up in my work area, so I can now visibly plan my 90 minutes and tick off the tasks. Brilliant. I'm also halfway through my first plan for install and the service is faultless. Brilliant. So on the 90-minute planner, if you go into the academy, there's a new lesson in there. I think it's in section step 1, talking about how to plan your 90 minutes properly using a whiteboard with the post-it notes and all the rest of it. So if you're not sure what he's talking about there, go and watch that, because I'm telling you now, it's a game changer in terms of keeping yourself organized. Personal growth. I've started to notice more and more how differently people around me think about business and progression. I am flat out at the moment and people are telling me to take a rest. Probably unsuccessful people, but I feel there's no time to rest at the moment. Got to keep going. Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, you do have to keep going, mate, because you're trying to be successful, and not many people actually consciously try to be successful. So people that aren't successful will tell you to take a break. People that aren't successful will say, oh, you look tired, maybe you need a week off. Turn your phone off. Why are you answering calls after 5 o'clock? And all that bollocks. And it's just like, no, I'm trying to build something here, please. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're not trying to build anything, that's you. You will fucking sit in the pub or watch fucking Coronation Street or whatever it is you fucking do, but leave me alone. Just don't fucking speak to people, mate. It's so much easier when you just don't speak to people. Speak to people in this community and us. They're your fucking mates. We're the people that are going in the same direction. Anyone out there isn't. I tell you now, they're not. So you don't need what you need to do is get where you need to be. You can have a rest when you get where you need to be. And the funny thing is, when you get where you need to be, you still don't have a rest, because you get the fucking fire in your belly big time and you go for it even harder, because that's the way success propagates and it snowballs. You optimize yourself over time. You become better. You become more efficient. You become like a machine. So the things that are tough at the beginning, like getting out of bad habits, getting out of this habit, getting out of that habit, distancing yourself from that twat, and that's what. Do you know what I mean? It's tough, and it's mentally and emotionally taxing, and people around you don't fucking get it. But don't talk to people that don't get it. Trust me, you're pissing in the fucking wind. Don't ever try to convince anyone that's unsuccessful about why it's good to be successful, because they don't get it. They don't fucking get it. So don't bother. Right, areas for support. Now my PAYE job is starting to pick up. I'm feeling very tired and drained, trying to get jobs completed so that I have more time to work on the business. Also, I am losing potential work due to not being able to comment to dates. I think you meant to put commit to dates. I lost a labourer on a job due to not being available. That's going to happen. That's going to happen when you fucking got your business, mate. So that's not a concern. This is going to happen. So yeah, that'll happen at the best of times to the best of people. So I'm just trying to tie these two pieces together. Concerns. I feel like I have a big decision to make in the new year, as it's going to be very hard for me to get much time in O&P and interiors, stroke academy works, as I start on the project, which means leaving my house at 4:30 and getting home after 3. So the time is going to be very restricted, and I'll also be drained. Trying to get cash flow in to give me a buffer and closing out jobs, but I feel soon enough I'm going to have to take the leap, but my numbers aren't quite there yet. So first things first, let's focus on health, right? You've clearly got a tough schedule coming up. So the first thing I would be saying that you need to do is reset health, eating, nutrition, sleep, especially, hydration, organize yourself, right? Because you've got to be efficient when you're coming into a really hard period. Yeah, you've got to be efficient. You've got to be ready for it. And you've got to also have conversations with the people around you. So who's in your family? Tell them next 3 months is going to be tough. Fucking leave me alone. Yeah. Don't take emotional baggage into a tough period. Yeah. You need to clear that emotional baggage off before it starts. So It's really important that, especially when you know that something tough is coming up. Like if I know, like for instance, it's Christmas, I've got a lot to do before the event in January. Christmas for me is going to be very here and there. I've got fucking loads to do. And I've already warned the family and said, yeah, you know, well, we have our anniversary, my son's birthday, and Christmas within like a week. It's an expensive week, let's say. But you know, I'll probably have those few days off. But I've already said to the family that if we're doing stuff, it's fine, but we need to book it in. Don't be like ad hoc going, oh, can we go here? Can we go there? Because I'm like, no, if we haven't got anything planned, I am busy. Just assume that I am busy. And if you want to do something, we need to book it in. So it sounds dead like military done it, but I say to my wife, like, if she wants me to do something, she has to send me an invite on Google Calendar. You know, like if we've got to go take the kids somewhere, or we've got to go dentist or hospital or whatever it might be that we might have to do. She has to send me a Google invite. It sounds like horrible, doesn't it? But I have to live like that. You see, I can't have people just, even in your family, walking in and going, oh no, are we going here? Like, no, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing stuff. And don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time with my wife and kids. I spend more time with them now than I ever have. But when it's work time, and that is do not fucking disturb time. Yeah, and people need to respect these boundaries. Trust me, they need to respect them. If they don't respect that boundary, they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, well, what the fuck are you doing? Do you get what I mean? So, and I know this sounds really deep for where you are, but trust me, this is how you need to engineer your time. Because if you let people just spill into your zone and fucking rob you of your time, you're never going to get fuck all done, you know. And as well intentioned as people may be, especially over the Christmas period, fucking hell, how many invites and how many reasons would you have to not get things done? Fucking hundreds. You can't let it happen. You've got to stay firm. That doesn't mean you don't do things, you don't have fun, but you pick when you're going to do stuff. Like, you know, like I went out for a meal the other day with a friend of mine and his wife and mine, but we had that booked for like 2 weeks, and I knew that on that Sunday for that few hours, that's where I'd be, and you know, it wasn't a surprise. And you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, but again, you just need to make sure that in this period now that you use this time where it's a little bit quieter to get fucking organized and make sure that you are absolutely optimized in terms of time, health, and all the rest of it, mental capacity. You know, make sure you're looking at your supplements. I covered last week that obviously I started IM8, which is David Beckham's brand for supplements, which is I'm finding really good actually. Really like it. You know, I've cut out caffeine. I'm drinking matcha, a bit of green tea, which does have a little bit of caffeine in it, which people sort of pointed out to me. Oh, you fucking still drinking caffeine because green tea's got caffeine in it, and it has, but it's nothing compared to fucking 4 espressos. Do you know what I mean? Which do give you a crash at the middle of the afternoon, whereas green tea doesn't give you a crash. It's a slight amount of caffeine, and there's a big difference there. So just make sure that you're understanding your body, your psychology, your biology, and not do the things that when you're coming into a tough period really don't help. And you do need to get your cash flow where it needs to be. And you are going to have to take the leap at some point, but my numbers aren't quite there yet. You're going to have to sort of give me a bit more insight there. But at some point, you do have to grab your balls and go, right, are we doing it or not? We're getting to that point. I think you sense that too. So I think there's a big decision. You're right, you've said it yourself, but you've got to make it at some point. So looking ahead, once jobs slow down and Christmas break begins, I'm going to knuckle down more on the business, 12 steps in sales process, planning on getting the 90 minutes every day to push into the new year. Yeah, great. Well, let's use that time sensibly. Maybe share your numbers with us and see how far off you are here. You know, because realistically, if one job a month, one guaranteed, would give you this is where you're not being clear. What does success look like here? What does it look like to say, this is what I need? What do you need to achieve to make that decision? I think that's what you need to do. You need to go away and go, right, magic wand. If I'm going to make this decision, this is what I'd need to have. I'd need to have X amount of pounds, right? So if you go, right, for me to comfortably make that decision, I need to have X amount of pounds, right? So business person, entrepreneur person doesn't go, might not be able to do that. A business person, entrepreneur person goes, right, how do I get that money? Give your brain that piece of information and say, to get that result, I need to have that much money. How can I do that? How many jobs is that? If the number's $6,000, you might go, well, if I win 2 jobs that make $3,000 each, and then I need to fucking win 2 jobs, I need to get them in the bank, and that'll get me going. And then I can make that decision. Do you know what I mean? I feel like, and it's normal, you it feels a bit jittery, like, I've got to make a decision and I'm not sure. But you get the number in your head and then the plan to get to that number, and everything will get a lot clearer, trust me. If you want any help with that, we can do, but you do it first. So, i.e., you do the thinking, you do the calculation, you do the, this is what I need to do, you do the, this is how I think I need to do it, and let us give you feedback on the plan. Don't just dump the number on us and go, how do we do it? Because that doesn't help. You know, us telling you how to do it isn't the solution. You know how to do it. It's winning jobs at the end of the day. It's making sales. That's what you need to do. And where's the gap? Where's the issue in making that happen, basically? And if we can get your brain focused there, the rest of it will sort itself out. Right, that's the check-ins done. Fucking hell, honestly, I didn't think it would take that long. But I think there's been some really big points tonight. And again, closing out the year properly, we needed to go deep on that getting off the tools bit, because it's going to be so important next year. And the getting out your own head bit was so important as well. So, yeah, right. Let's get on to the other stuff now, and let's get this closed for the year. So price increases, I've already said, 5% kitchens. If you've got a customer that might go ahead early in the new year and you've not put it through, there might be something we can do for you, but you're going to have to speak to us in your WhatsApp group, okay? Because we have got a little bit of a workaround. If it's very early in the new year, we do have a workaround, sort of. It's not right, but I can make it work. So what I need you to do there is look at it and go, if you've got something like that bubbling, you think that one might go ahead in the first week. They're going to have to go ahead early in the new year for us to do it. But if you want to try and keep this year's prices, basically, we can log an order in the system, even if it's not correct, and then edit the order in the new year. It's fudging the fucking system, right? But I will do it for you. But you're going to have, but it can't be like 3 weeks into January. It's going to have to be literally in like the first week or 2 of the fucking latest. Do you know what I mean? Because people will know we're taking the piss. But we have wangled it on a couple of occasions where, you know, people are saying, I've got this customer that, you know, I think they'll get over the line, but it might just be after Christmas. So is there anything we can do? And we have looked at it and gone, oh, you know, sort of. So obviously we'll look at it on a case by case basis, but push your fucking customers. Even if you say to them, look, I've got a bit of an extension here, fucking hell, can we do, you know, will you go ahead in the January? Fucking get onto them and get them converted, and we'll see what we can do for you, okay? Again, we want to do everything we can here to help you get off to the best start in 2026. I've said to you since October and before that every piece of content put out would be there to help you get into 2026 in the best possible shape. So we're obviously sticking to our guns. The price increases are Christmas closure. Obviously, we're closed on the 22nd of December. This is KB Spy Services. Academy never sleeps. You know that. So Christmas closure and reopening for KBB Spy Services, 22nd of December, and people will be back in on Friday the 2nd for one day before they go off for a fucking weekend again. What the fucking point of that is, I don't know, but that's what we're doing because we like to do pointless things. But, you know, it's not pointless. So you get what I'm saying. It's one day in. If there's anything to pick up, if there's any emergencies, we'll monitor the inboxes anyway. It's not like it's going to be a blackout, you know, if anything really urgent. But obviously, there's no deliveries. There's no way to get remedial sorted out or anything like that. But in terms of communications, we'll probably be able to get back to you, you know, over the Christmas period. We will monitor it a little bit. But, you know, the guys do need a break as well. So brochures, I've mentioned before that brochures are on the way in the new year. So the new ranges will be in them, brochures. They'll be on the app from the 23rd of, from week commencing, from orders can start from the 9th of February. So you can start receiving deliveries for the new ranges from the 23rd of Feb, which realistically, if you get jobs that go ahead now, they're not going to go ahead that quickly anyway. But a lot of these new ranges are going to be used in the bedrooms, media walls, all the rest of it. Now, the app is going to have a big push on it now. So the app is going to be the center of everything that we do. The app's had a redesign. So if you can close down the app and reopen it, it will load the new format of the app. There is a bug on the main screen at the moment where the menu's been shoved too far down. There's a header that's fucking big and empty. Just ignore that. It's not doing any harm. It will be fixed in the next few days. So the app, you will notice, has been redesigned. It's been jigged about. So again, we're trying to make life a bit easier for you from the new year, and the app is a big part of it. We are going to be pushing more stuff into the app. So this is where you're going to go for everything. So the only two places you'll need to go for your trade account in the future is the app and the trade portal. So the app is while you're out and about. You can view brochures, prices, all the rest of it, in the brochures. Then you go in your trade portal, because you're never going to use the trade portal while you're out and about anyway. You wouldn't, would you? You use the trade portal when you're at your laptop and you're doing your quotes. That's what the trade portal's for. Even though you can log into it on your phone, it's a bit fucking pointless, because realistically, you wouldn't do it. And the other thing is as well on that is, like, people say, oh, I need prices when I'm on site. You don't fucking need prices when you're on site. If you need prices when you're on site, you're amateur. You're not doing it right, because the price is the fucking price when you go back to your laptop and quote the fucking customer. If you're the type of person that's still talking to the customer about, oh, well, you can have that sink and it's 200 quid, you can have that one, it's 300 quid, you're fucking doing it wrong anyway. Do you know what I mean? You just don't fucking have that conversation on site with the customer. It's just amateur tradesperson bollocks. So we don't want to be listening to any more comments like, oh, we need prices on site. No, you fucking don't. Find out what the fucking customer wants on site and get back to your laptop and then make the proposal based on what they've asked for. And if they want to discuss price, you do it after, when you understand fully what can and can't be done. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you need to move past all that now. The app, the brochure, the pictures is more than enough while you're out and about. What do you like, this, Mrs. Jones, or do you like that, Mrs. Jones? Right, which one do you want? Right, okay, well, when I get back to my laptop later, I'll send you some fucking options. Do you know what I mean? It's not difficult. If you get into that on site with prices, you're making price the priority again. It's not what you come here for. So that's that. The app, get it closed and reopened. Interviews. So the interviews that have been going out on 8 o'clock, they've been going out, haven't they, on a Sunday? So they're all finished now. We've rerun. We've run them all out. That's them all done. We will do some more interviews in the new year. What have you thought about the interviews? A lot of people have said they've really enjoyed them. A lot of positive feedback. The final interview on this Sunday is with myself. So I am doing an interview on Sunday. Well, I've already done it. It's been recorded. Where Lee interviews me. It's just over an hour long, I think, about an hour and 20 minutes. So it's a little bit longer than the other ones, obviously, because there's a bit more to go through. And this one's going out earlier at 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock would be the time for this one. And the reason why it's going out at 6 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock is because I actually want to watch it with you, because I want to be in the comments if anyone says or asks a question. And because I can't do it later on at 8 o'clock, basically. So we're pulling this one earlier at 6 o'clock. But the link will be live from 6 o'clock. Watch it whenever you want. But it'd be nice to watch it live together. If you've got something to say in the comments, it would be interesting to see what people say. So do just make a note that I will be watching with you. Obviously, I know what's going to happen next, but I just want to be there in the comments, basically. So if you've got anything to say or any feedback or anything you want me to sort of cover later, I'll make note of it and have a chat with you in the comments as well. So I'll see you on Sunday at 6 o'clock for that. That'll close out the year, the last. And the thing is, you'll enjoy this interview as well, because I talk about quite a lot of stuff and stuff that I haven't spoke about before. So don't miss it. Yeah, make sure you watch it. Let's close off the year properly. Let's get everything watched, everything absorbed, and get ready for this event in January the 16th. Because the next event is going to be a big event, like a watershed event. There's huge changes and the final pieces of the academy being put together. The inner circle gold standard membership is imminently going to happen. There's massive changes coming There's going to be new modules in the academy. There's going to be loads of fucking stuff. Basically, the academy's been built to 75%. And I knew this, by the way. I knew that the academy wasn't finished. But when we revamped it last year, because the November the 8th in 2024, when we had that event, we obviously said, right, get ready for 2025. And then we went, well, fucking hell, well, we revamped the whole academy. We built the 12 steps. And then I sort of knew that there was still stuff not in there, but I thought that's enough because we need people to get through the 12 steps. So we've had a year now and a little bit of the 12 steps. And now it's time to add in the next bits. And everybody should be aiming to get to Inner Circle, by the way. And, you know, this gold standard membership, it's going to be something that I want everybody to push towards because everyone's capable of doing it. And you'll know and see why in January. And yeah, I will leave it there on that one. I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, the event in January is going to be a lot of stuff. We're going to be launching some new services. We're going to be launching fucking loads of stuff, to be honest. There's just loads going on at the moment. And I feel like this won't be like changes where you go, oh, fucking hell, the academy's changed again. It's not that we're just adding things onto the academy. We're giving you a proper path to success now. Because really, when you think about the academy so far, it's been, right, do the 12 steps, do the 12 steps, do the 12. But what's after the 12 steps? You know, what fucking next? And what you'll find out in January is what's fucking next. You'll find out what is happening now and what we really need to be aiming at, that the 12 steps is a stepping stone to the next thing. But obviously, there was no point in putting that next thing in there too soon because the 12 steps was so new. So, but now we're starting to understand the 12 steps a lot more. People are in it a lot more. Now we can add them final pieces in, especially for the people that are progressing to the point where they need that. And everyone will get there at some point, you know, but at least now we'll have a proper sliding scale of where everybody is up to. And everybody should be aiming for gold. They really should be. And I'll cover why at the event. So make sure you're there. You'll hear it first at the event. And there's a lot of people going to be at the event as well. So we're going to have some special guests this time. So again, I'm not saying too much, but it'll be a different sort of feel in January. And it'll be a different academy in January. You'll feel like you're part of something different come the 16th of January, put it that way. So at the last event, yes. So at the last event, I did do a offer where we said, right, if you want to join KBB Academy Plus and you want to add new pages to your websites, you heard me talk about at the event and previously that people that join KBB Academy Plus and do the 12 steps and stick to it, they're just way more successful. Right? I'm not going into all the fucking details now, but they're getting more than enough leads through the website. So Grant from Elite Installations does 50 to 60 jobs a year. Most of those leads for those jobs come now through his website because he's an Academy Plus member. He's been good with everything else. So things are really working for him. So let's say that his Academy full subscription is, say, 500 quid a month. What he said to us at the event or before the event on his interview was, by being an Academy Plus member, he is now not paying for any other sort of marketing. So it's actually cost negative for him to be, or cost positive for him to be part of the Academy, because what he's within his subscription, that is bringing him the leads that he needs also through these other avenues like Academy Plus and the things that we teach in the 12 steps, where he doesn't need to pay the hundreds of pounds he was paying before to like Check a Trade, My Builder and all these types of things. So it really is interesting to hear that. And obviously at the event, I told everybody this, and everybody really should be thinking, fucking hell, you know, because to get to Inner Circle in gold, you are going to have to be an Academy Plus member. It is one of the requirements, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but you might feel, fucking hell, you're making us do it. Well, no, because when you understand the business landscape properly and you look at 175 quid a month for what you're getting, it's fuck all. Now, a business person looks at it, and this is what I'm saying, we can't have people that are at the top of the academy that don't think like business people. You're not going to be a good tradesperson in Inner Circle and gold, right? You're not going to get to Inner Circle and gold if you're still thinking like a tradesperson. And that's why the filter is there. Because when people start making sales, start making money, they go, do you know what? Fuck, it's great value. That all the things are getting Academy Plus, the project management tools, the SEO, The blogs, the case studies, all the fucking shit I don't like doing is done for me. You know, and all the tools that I ain't got a fucking clue how to do these other things are all provided for me. So if 175 quid a month, that is worth a fucking £1,000 anywhere else. So if somebody can't understand that and see the value, they're not ready for Inner Circle and Gold. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a filter. So we go, right, when you're there, you're starting to think like a business person. So, right, when you signal to us that you're starting to think like a business person and you switch on your Academy Plus, that's when we go, right, okay, this person's starting to think now like a business person, hopefully. You know what I mean? And then they prove it by, you know, getting results and all the rest of it. And this is really important, this. So what we said at the event was if you signed up for Academy Plus and added the web pages on that day, you could have it all for free for 3 months. You won't pay anything until February. So tonight, as a Christmas gift, I'm going to extend that offer. So if you comment below, just put the numbers 2026, right? And go to the News and Updates WhatsApp group, and there'll be a link in there that says add Academy Plus and web pages to your website now. So if you put 2026 in the comments and you also go to that link and sign up for new web pages or the Academy, you won't pay anything for the next 2 months. So you basically not pay anything until February or March. It might be March. I'll do it till March, yeah? So if you sign up tonight and do it tonight, because the people that did it in October got grace until January. We actually shoved that back to February because we had a few technical issues early on. So we were a bit slow, basically, to get people onboarded. So we pushed it back to February. So those people that signed up in October have had Academy Plus. They've had the web pages on. You've heard Paul and I can't remember who else tonight mention about media walls, that things are already moving. So they've had pages put on their website that are already bringing leads in, and they haven't even started paying for them pages yet. So it's going to cost them fuck all, basically, you know, because they're going to be making sales before they even start paying for it. And that's the point that we're trying to do with these delayed payments, where you sign up now, but you'll pay in 3 months till you'll start paying for it in 3 months' time. Because hopefully by then you're getting some results by doing everything that you're doing. Yeah. And in this grace period where we're trying to help you to get going, you're giving you a bit of a leg up. So if you do it tonight, so if you did it in October, great. You're already hopefully seeing something from it, or you will do soon, as long as you're putting the effort in, like we say. But if you want to do it tonight, if you've not done it already, put 2026 in the comments so we can see that you've put it there in the comments to this stream, and then go to the News and Updates WhatsApp group. If you're an Academy member, obviously you'll have to be, obviously. Go to that WhatsApp group and then sign up. So what we want to see is that you've filled it in there, and we can see this comment here. So we know that this has come from the stream tonight, because they're the people where they've done those two things, where we will give them Academy Plus and we'll give them any pages that they want on the website free until February. Okay, so Merry Christmas. I hope that if you've not done it already and you want to do it, trust me, you need to do Academy Plus at some point. It's got to happen, because just the results we see and just how much, and I just want to say something as well, and this isn't going to be popular, because the person or people that do Academy Plus actually said to me the other day, he said, I wish people wouldn't do their own blogs. And I was like, why? And they said, because they're not doing them properly. Now, not that they're not doing them properly, but they're just not as good as what the Academy Plus team do. It's just not as good. They're not linking properly. They're not using H1 tags properly. You know, it's just sometimes like one of them things where you think, even if you really want to do it yourself, please don't, because we will do a much better job. And yeah, I think that we'll have to maybe look at what's in the 12 steps and improve some of the tutorials around blogs and case studies to sort of bring it to the standard of what we're doing in Academy Plus. But it still is like, you know, it still is one of the things where you're like, when you're being successful, it's not really something you want to be spending your time doing. You know, you want to be doing, you want to be getting someone else to do it for you. And at that price and with those results, I really think you need to do it. as soon as possible now. So do that, 2026, go to that link, get it sorted if you've not done it already. So year in summary, what have we learned? It's been a big year, obviously a big building year, lots of issues, lots of things to sort out for you and us, lots of new things, but been a really big year, massive in loads of ways. And I think 2026 is going to be not as much of a building year. It's going to be more of a growth year, if that makes sense. But when I say building doesn't mean growth. Building means building. And building means building infrastructure, building attitude, building momentum, building these things. Growth happens after you've built something. Now, the growth for a lot of you will come properly in 2026. I guarantee it. Even with the UK being in the state that it's in, and I'll cover that at the event in January about where your mindset should be around the state of our country. But 2026 is a growth year, 100%. The other thing that we've learned this year is that partnerships don't work. In the academy, one of the things that we're really going to block to a degree is any people coming in that are a two-man band. We're not going to accept them. And there'll be reasons for that, which I'll go into in more detail later on. If they are very clear on who does what and there is a clear boss, yes, we'll let them in. If one of them's a boss and one of them's on the tools, it's sort of okay, because I know that can work. But when you got two fucking chefs, it doesn't work. And honestly, the amount of partnerships we've actually lost this year, and what's interesting, we haven't actually lost them. People have just split up, and then one of them has carried on. That's testament to really what should have happened in the fucking first place. And that the academy does develop people. So obviously one person's developed quicker than the other, and that's it, and they've split. But one person's gone, no, fuck it, I'm carrying on with this and I'm doing it. So, I think from the outset, we need to be clear there. So just know that if you're on your own, you might feel a bit more lonely. But trust me, you're in a better position moving forward. And like I said, storms have been weathered. So you've got things where people have had adverse problems and they've come out the other side of them on many occasions, like what we've covered tonight. So yeah, it's testament to what we're building and what we've got as a community that we're actually able to do that, because a lot of the times we've looked at things and gone, fucking hell, this could be a down and out job, this, but people have pulled through, partnerships have carried on with one person, etc., etc. So I think that there's a lot to take from this year on many levels. Now I'm just trying to load up the demo. Right, so if you go into the 12 steps, okay, so I'm just going to do a screen share for you now. So go into step 5, social media, and then go down to New Year's sales templates, okay? Ariana is going to upload a video up here for you, so there will be a tutorial on how to do this. But basically what this is we want to get ready for the new year. Obviously, again, sticking to my guns, get ready for 2026. I would do this as soon as possible, so plan this into your 90 minutes for ASAP. So there is a checklist on the right as well here, so you can download that, and that'll sort of tell you what to do throughout this. But basically, we want to make sure that we've got something going out over Christmas ready for the new year. So we've got some reels and static posts for you to do. So you need to log into Canva using the links below as usual, replace the logo, put the URL in, follow the posting schedule below, blah, 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 blah. You can upload it through your CRM, or you can just download the files and upload it straight into your, you can, as I showed you last time, you can actually upload it straight from Canva into your social media channels, but you just need to follow these dates. So you've got Boxing Day, you're going to do, I'm not going to go through all this word for word, but basically you want something to go out on Boxing Day, because Boxing Day is where everyone's like, right, fucking Christmas is over, they're back on the phones. This is when you need to be posting. So from Boxing Day to the 10th of January, you've got 15 days of posts to schedule here. there's not loads, but again, it's probably going to take you a 90-minute session to get all this scheduled into your CRM. You can set all this up ready to go. So you don't need to think, oh, fucking hell, I've got to be on my phone all the time. You follow this lesson and schedule it properly, okay? And make sure that you're scheduling it either in your CRM or however you do it. Just use the templates below and the posting schedule. I don't really give a shit how you do it. You just need to do it. So your offer is going to be 40% off, as I've said here. So the ad says 40% off because it's a strong market standard New Year offer. Your trade discount covers the majority. If you add 30% markup after your discount, it basically equates to around 40% that the customer gets off the RRP. So it is there or thereabouts. It's not exact, but it's there or thereabouts. It's a genuine promotion, obviously, that customers will expect this time of year. Don't change the discount, okay? Don't start pissing around with it. What's included in your pack? 5 video templates, 4 static posts for feeds and stories. So you've got Instagram Reels, TikTok Reels, Facebook Reels. So, and then you've got feeds for like, stills, graphics and stuff like that to put in your feed and your stories. So you can change your logo, your website, your phone number. So your posting schedule is going to go like this. You're going to go Boxing Day, a reel, one of the videos, a story, repost that video to the story, and a static post, use one of the static posts, and then just post the reel and the static post, both of them, to your story. Yeah. So if you're unsure on what to do with this, it will be, you should know this, by the way, posting something onto a story. So if you posted a reel on your Instagram or Facebook, you can click on it and then post to story. And then same with a static post. If you put a static post in, you can also post that to your story. So your story is what your followers will see. Yeah. Reels will be seen in your local area. Static posts, people will see when they go to your profile. And stories, your followers, your current followers will see. Okay. And then day 2, we do a story and a reel. Day 3, we do a static and a story. Day 4, we do a reel. Day 5, we do a story, reel, and a group post, like a Facebook group, local post or something like that. And then day 6 to 15, just alternate between reels every 1 to 2 days and a story every day and a static every 3 days. And just sort of pick your little routine there and go, right, because I've given you all the templates below, and throw some random stuff in there as well, like, stuff that you might be doing, wish people, talk, do some talking to the camera stuff, wishing everyone Happy New Year, What times to post? 6 to 9 p.m., 12 till 3. Stories, I'll give you all the times here. How to use Reels effectively. I'm not going to go through all this word by word. Go to this lesson and watch this, yeah? Static posts, how to use them. Stories, the real DM machine, tips on like what to put as your captions and stuff like that. Stickers, if you want to put stickers on your stories and stuff like that. Hashtags to use. Again, I don't want to, we've already been on for quite a while tonight, so I don't want to go through all this word for word. Go to this lesson and do it. Final success rules, non-negotiable. Respond to any DMs, post daily, even when you don't feel like it. You can schedule all this ahead of time. You don't even need to think. You just need to spend an hour or two working through this schedule, get the posts below. So the posts I give you down here are the usual. So you've got templates here now. So might be a bit noisy, this. Yeah, you get the idea. You've got a few posts. Let's go to a different one. Happy New Year. Edit template. Again, you've got the KB Supply Services logo on here, so do remember to remove the KB Supply Services logo. Obviously, our design. Yeah. So obviously, our designers put them on with our logo on, so you need to remove our logo. So anyway, you've got 5 to pick from. There's shitloads of videos in there. You can even edit them and make some stills out of them yourself if you want. Yeah. So again, then you've got some static ones. So if you click on these static ones here, that's a preview of what the static ones look like. And then you click on this, you can design it yourself, make any edits you want, download it and get it posted up. Okay. So that's something that you need to do. Obviously before Boxing Day. It's only the 17th now. So you've got until then to do that. You can even do it every day manually if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't advise it. I'd probably just say, you're better off doing a schedule, making sure that you schedule it all in a 90-minute session and get it all in there. What we will also put in there for you as well is Merry Christmas post. Because obviously post it on Christmas Day or schedule it for Christmas Day, and then a Happy New Year post as well. So we will put some other stuff in there for you to use as templates. Make sure you're using them. Make sure that you're not forgetting to do it. Okay. So that's it, guys. So that's closing off the year. I feel like we've covered everything. I don't think we've missed anything. So Boxing Day sales, we've done that. I've told you that we'll get New Year's and Christmas things up there for you. Yeah, so Happy New Year for when it comes round, because it will be there before you know it. Christmas, obviously, have a great one. Try not to get too pissed. Make sure you're using it wisely. Have a bit of fun, unwind. Pick the days you're going to do that, and pick the days you're going to work on your business, because this time now is the best time of the year. Like, I know that people will be tired and they'll be like, oh, I can't wait to have a break and all the rest of it, especially if you're on the tools. But as far as your business is concerned, don't let the next 2 weeks-ish, become like dead, like a dead zone for your business. You can easily pick off 90 minutes a day throughout the Christmas period. Really, you could pick it off twice, couldn't you? Because there's only so much sitting on the couch and going out when it's fucking freezing anyway that you can do. So I, for one, will be using 2 or 3 90-minute sessions a day, because let's face it, people are sat around doing fuck all. Like, that's not my style. So I'll be coming into my office, making sure that I'm doing stuff to get ready for the event on the 16th, making sure we've got all this stuff done that we need to get done ready for next year, because we've still got quite a lot to do. So me and some of my team aren't having any time off at all over Christmas. We'll be literally at it non-stop, probably even Christmas Day, to be honest, because that's fucking boring. I sound like Scrooge, don't I? But it is a bit. I just do find it all a bit like sat around doing nothing, getting pissed. It's just not. It's nice and fun now and then, isn't it? Like we said many times, but and do it once, probably over Christmas, and have a glass of wine or something. But that'll be it, and then it's straight back on, because we've got a lot to do next year. We've achieved an awful lot together this year. We've done a lot. There's a lot to be proud of. There's a lot of challenges been overcome. There's a lot of people that are in much better places than where they were before. And everybody that needs to be here is here, and that's all that matters, really. So let's get to the interview on Sunday at 6 o'clock. I'll see you in the comments there. And then the next time I see you after that is on the streams, which will kick the streams back in probably second week of Jan, starting with probably a Facebook. I don't know which way around we'll do it, but we'll let you know how we'll go. And then, like I say, just have a great time over Christmas. Make sure spend some time with your loved ones. Have a break where you need to, but try and stay focused on the fact that you've got a couple of weeks before the year starts again. So let's try and make sure that we get into the new year in one piece, get to the event, and really, really focus on making 2026 way better than what 2025 was. I think that's inevitable for a lot of people now. The wheels are in motion. So have a good one, guys. Take care of yourselves. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.